From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 2173, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, June 26, 2019. Sadly, we begin this week's report with the somber news that another tragic tower accident has claimed a member of the amateur radio community.
Police in Susquehanna County, Pennsylvania, have identified him as Leland Lee Parsons III, N3LPJ, president and a founding member of the Susquehanna County Amateur Radio Club and a member of the Wayne County Amateur Radio Club. Police said he was attempting to connect a guy wire to the bottom section of his amateur radio tower Friday, June 14th, when the tower collapsed, causing him to fall. The Pennsylvania accident is the latest in a series of fatal tower falls hams have suffered. The well-known contester, the Reverend Paul Bittner, W0AIH, died last October at age 84. In 2009, Larry Prelig, KE4PM, was killed in the collapse of a tower being used for field day. Lee, who held an amateur extra-class license, was 62 when he became a silent key. We here at Amateur Radio Newsline once again remind all our listeners to please follow safety procedures.
Newsline anchor Jim Dameron, N8TMW, reporting. A New Jersey ham is losing his license and paying a $7,500 fine for alleged unauthorized transmissions on public safety frequencies.
David Larson Sr., WS2L of Highland Park, and the FCC have entered into a consent decree. The FCC, in its announcing the agreement on June 18th, said that if he violates it, he is subject to a civil penalty of $32,500. Larson has also agreed to surrender radio equipment capable of transmitting on public safety frequencies. The complaint against Larson, who held an amateur extra-class license, dates back to May 2018 when the FCC first received reports that he was making unauthorized transmissions on the municipal radio system and sent agents on several occasions to investigate. The FCC's announcement identified Larson as a former rescue squad volunteer in the borough of Highland Park. Larson has also agreed not to apply for a new ham radio license for 3 years. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
Finally this week, what happens when you're in low Earth orbit and you suddenly get a craving for, of all things, pizza?
Owen Garriott, W5LFL, who became a silent key earlier this year, may have been the first astronaut to make an amateur radio call from the International Space Station, but the distinction of receiving the first pizza delivered there is the proud province of cosmonaut Yuri Usachov. In 2001, Pizza Hut restaurant chain sent the 6-inch diameter delicacy, topped with more travel-friendly salami instead of pepperoni, at a cost equivalent to about $1 million. The vacuum-sealed meal was prepared and perfected in Kazakhstan, where the Russian space program is headquartered. NASA, of course, was able much later to send pizza-making meal kits to the astronauts, who in December 2017, and as recently as this past April, have had pizza parties in space. As the world prepares to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, let us all consider this encouraging thought that with a little effort, pie in the sky is indeed within the reach of all of us. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Mike Askins, KE5CXP.
That Askins, he always gets the saucy assignments. A reminder that the nominees for the 2019 Newsline Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Young Ham of the Year are in the hands of the awards committee. Our thanks to Young Ham of the Year Award corporate underwriters Yezu, CQ Communications, Heil Sound, Radio Waves Antennas, and of course you, our listeners. We'll see you in Huntsville, Alabama on August 17th for the presentation. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Jim Dameron, N8TMW, Paul Brown, WD9GCO, the Pizza Man, Mike Askins, KE5CXP, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.